Before I touch the topic of ASHTAVAKRA Gita and we go deeper into this journey together, I'd like to say that together means you'll need to listen to what I have to say completely, rather than having any preconceived notions. You'll have to listen keeping these preconceived notions aside. These notions may be that someone thinks that I don't even understand things like this. It's not for me. What is this? This is a notion. Someone else might think I already understand these things. I've heard enough people talk about this. I've read enough. Both of them are stuck with these preconceived notions. It is about seeing things as they are, sitting comfortably with an open mind and listening. Listening too can mean seeing, because if you listen carefully, leaving all distractions aside, you'll be able to see what I can see. You can then judge if what you see is the truth for you and me, or if it may be for me but not for you. Am I speaking with a motive or maybe a hidden agenda or my own preconceived notions? Or am I speaking about reality? You'll be able to identify that very easily. Is it a subjective point of view, or can the point I'm making be verified time and again by anybody and everybody? Gradually, all of your doubts will come to an end, not temporarily, but permanently. All internal conflicts will go down to zero, and psychological suffering will cease to exist. What needs to be done on the physical level will continue as it is. That has got nothing to do with this. Now we come to the point of how you're going to listen or how you should listen, because we don't really understand how to listen. You'll only be able to listen when you can truly understand the importance of listening to this. Whatever we deem important, we pay attention to. What we deem unnecessary, our attention wanders off. Where's everyone's attention? It's where they think the most important things are. People, material things, money, whatever it is. So what is the importance of this? What problem are we trying to solve? Why go through ASHTAVAKRA Gita? We all basically encounter two types of problems. The first is subjective problems at a superficial level, which you may have but I don't, or I may have but you don't, which means one person may have that problem but another may not. But there are a few problems that we may term as fundamental problems at a deeper level, which every person has, be it the poorest of the poor or the richest of the rich, be it India, the US, UK, literally anywhere. There won't be a single person who doesn't suffer from these problems. These are the problems that we need to find a solution to. In fact, all the questions that you ask are from your own standpoint, as in, I have this problem, or I am suffering from this or that. But we never ask if I truly am or not. Who am I? If you think of yourself as another person or entity, then the whole exercise is pointless. Whatever you are questioning or thinking, if I in the first place is misplaced, let's say you think that I'm a shirt, then whatever you ask thinking you really are a shirt indeed is wrong. A shirt is being born. A shirt dies. Different people are associated with the shirt. This happened to the shirt or that happened to the shirt, whatever it may be. There may be unlimited problems. But we never ask ourselves, am I really a shirt or not? Because the whole world thinks they're a shirt, so even I assume that I'm a shirt and question things on the basis of me being a shirt. In that case, you're even listening to me thinking that you're a shirt. How will you understand anything then? So don't assume anything. Listen with an open mind. What are these fundamental problems that everyone faces then? There is a sense of lack that exists in all of us, a sense of loneliness, a sense of being incomplete, a sense of being limited, a sense of fear of death. So these fundamental problems can be resolved only and only through self-inquiry. There is no other way. Let's say if you said that my problem is that I'm restless. Is restlessness the problem that only one person is facing? Or is it something that the entire humanity faces? So, there are two types of scriptures. One will tell you how you can escape from this restlessness for some time, meaning, do this and you'll have peace of mind for a little while. Do this, then this will happen, or do that, then that will happen. Practice what is written in these scriptures, follow it, control your desires, control your anger, control your greed, control your attachments and expectations. Then one day will come when you are truly enlightened. What is the other way? Whatever is the truth, however it may be, whether you understand it or not, things are being declared. That is what the ASHTAVAKRA Gita is. Now you need to rise to the occasion. You need to leave your notions aside. Whatever preconceived notions or ideas or thoughts you may have, you need to leave them aside and see things as they are. Just keep listening. What will happen is that the truth will then be revealed to us. This urge that we have to seek happiness, is this for one person or does everyone have it? Everyone has it. The search for happiness comes to an end by knowing the truth, because I am happiness. I don't have to seek it. The search for the truth comes to an end in understanding that I am the truth. All this running around that the mind is doing is what we call restlessness. The mind seems like it isn't stationary for even a second. Why does that happen? It happens because I feel that I need to be somewhere else. I need to reach somewhere. I need to do something. I need to be something. Everyone is trying to do things to end this restlessness in them, to forget about this restlessness in them. The fact that they are trying to do this is essentially the problem. The moment I understand that I am absolutely complete, all the restlessness vanishes. What is the root cause of all problems? It is that we never question why we keep running around chasing something or the other. Everyone's doing it, so we do it too. Everyone's going in different directions though. They're not all going the same way. Someone wants this, the other that, another wants something totally different. We idealize one of these directions and start following it. When we do finally reach the destination, there's nothing actually there. Then we see someone else or get attracted to something else and start running in that direction. And when we finally reach, there's nothing there either. So, what's the solution to all of this? Stay where you are. Be who you are. You don't need to do anything. The problem you're facing is that you think that you have to reach somewhere. For example, you may think that I have to attain enlightenment. Now, what is enlightenment? Everyone's definition of enlightenment is going to be different. Everyone has some preconceived notions that if I can get this, then I'll be enlightened. Or, I'll be enlightened when I see the light. Let's say you do see the light. Is it the end of restlessness? So, how do we get rid of this restlessness? There's someone who's telling you that you don't need to do anything. Just take a step back, relax, and listen to what I have to say. If you deeply understand that you don't need to go anywhere, you're already there. Do you need thought then? This is called the state of thoughtlessness. People haven't been able to understand this. They think thoughtlessness means either a state of intense concentration or a deep sleep. You don't need this. You have to wake up sometime, right? You will break the concentration at some point, right? Is that a solution? When does the problem exist? When you're asleep, or when you're in a state of intense concentration, or when you're wide awake? It's when you're awake. So the solution needs to be sought at that state. We get restless the moment we are awake. Why does this happen? It happens because we feel we need to do something. Action or karma is something that needs to be understood, but not in theory. Leave behind all those theories that you've read about. Try to understand what action actually is, what thought means. You need thought. You need physical action. You need a lot of other things if you want to go from one place to the other. You need time, resources too. You will need to struggle. So the struggle, the thoughts, the action temporarily comes to an end when you reach wherever you want to reach. But that's only for a short while, whether that is in the material world or the spiritual world. But then again, because of your old pattern of thinking, new thoughts start developing in your mind and the struggle begins again. This is a never-ending process. This is a cycle. It's a never-ending cycle. If I'm feeling bad, I might find happiness in eating something. Now that I've had this, the thought temporarily comes to an end. When the action has been completed, the thought ceases to exist. When it is taken care of, we feel relaxed. Then the urge rises again, and the cycle begins again. This is what's happening. Action and reaction. Action and reaction. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. What happens because of this is that we tire out. A person gets exhausted and frustrated. This is one way. The other way is that you don't need to move at all. Moving in the sense that thoughts like I want to be someone, or I want to do something, or I want something. You don't need such thoughts because you're already what you need to be. Just sit back, relax, and understand who you actually are. Once you've completely understood yourself, the work has already been done. Now there's no need of the knowledge or words that helped you to see the truth. So all the baggage of words cease to exist. Once you reach from one place to the other, is the thought of reaching that place required anymore? No. That thought comes to an end. But what happens there is that another desire manifests, that I need to go somewhere, because the sense of incompleteness still exists. However, once you understand that I don't need to reach anywhere, I don't need to change who I am, the sense of incompleteness ceases to exist. Not just temporarily, but permanently. Let's now start with ASHTAVAKRA Gita. There are many stories related to this that I won't go into now, about who ASHTAVAKRA was, who King Janak was. But the most important thing that needs to be understood is that King Janak is not a specific person, because every ruler of that kingdom was called Janak. So you can look at Janak as somebody who wants to know the truth, and ASHTAVAKRA as somebody who knows the truth. King Janak asks ASHTAVAKRA, "Dear Lord, how do I gain self-knowledge? How will I attain salvation? How is abstinence attained? Please answer my questions." These questions are the essence of all Vedas and Upanishads. The beauty of ASHTAVAKRA Gita is it bypasses all the systems for realizing the self. It's not a methodology to teach you to become something or to do something. It's absolutely direct. A direct question is asked to which a direct answer is given. The point at which ASHTAVAKRA Gita starts is the end of spirituality. This is the end. How do I gain self-knowledge? How will I attain salvation? How is abstinence attained? Each of these things has to be understood deeply, because the problem is that each of these words has a predefined image in our mind. You might think that salvation means that I would have attained complete peace of mind and would be sitting at a fixed place all day, meditating. Somebody else might think that with salvation some energy will erupt from within and things will follow and I'll be one. Whatever it is. When I experience this, then is when I'll attain salvation. Salvation is something which only superhumans can attain, and it's not for me. I'm too naive for this. I don't understand all this stuff. I can't attain salvation. There are a lot of preconceived notions about salvation in our mind. And the word salvation is such that whenever you hear it, it feels as if something has to be done to attain it. This is the limitation of words. Salvation means there is a bondage. Therefore, you need to break free. If there is no bondage, then what is it that you want salvation from? But what is true salvation? It will become clearer as we move ahead. The understanding of the fact that there is absolutely no bondage of any kind is salvation. Here, we're talking about the solution to gain self-knowledge. When is the word solution or upay used? Upay means the means to do something. Like we say, we need to solve this. What is the solution to this? What's the way out of this? Why do we need a road? To reach the destination. So upay or solution is connected to upay. Upay means the ultimate goal. So the upay or solution is self-knowledge, and upay is salvation. The goal is salvation, and the solution to this is abstinence. What does abstinence mean? Whatever you have thought, understood, known until now, you put a question mark on them and leave them aside. You neither need to accept them as correct nor tag them as incorrect. Put a question mark and now sit back and listen. That is abstinence. Otherwise, how will self-knowledge be gained? How will you understand such a deep topic? If you hold on to your existing beliefs and keep them within you, that is what the bondage is. So just put a question mark on them and stop right there. You don't need to analyze your beliefs. Just put a question mark. It might be correct. It may be wrong. Leave it. Now you're neutral. Now neither are you here nor are you there. You're neither saying that whatever you've heard, listened, understood until today is incorrect, nor are you claiming them to be correct. Let me find out. Let me see things as they are. This is abstinence. That is when you are ready to listen. So what is ASHTAVAKRAji's answer here? If you want salvation, then leave the sense objects as if they are poison and embrace forgiveness, simplicity, kindness, contentment and truth like an elixir. Now he has said this, but how many people have truly understood it? Everyone is in a hurry. They all get lost. Millions of people get lost after reading this. Why? Because people have a habit of listening to stories. Even a straightforward case is woven into a story right away. So, what was the story in this case? If you want salvation, then leave the sense objects as if they are poison. What does the term sense objects mean here? We have 5 senses. There are 5 corresponding sensing objects. All the impressions related to them within our mind, which is known as memory, all of these are sense objects. And all the sense objects are equivalent to poison. Leave them. So what did people make out of this? As soon as they heard these lines, since they are habitual to stories, they instantly made up a story in their mind. Leave everything. Leave everything. Leave everything. What happened to such people? They left everything but got nothing in return. And they think that they've left everything. What did they leave? Everything is one of the sense objects. In that case, leave eating too. Stop drinking water. Stop seeing. Stop smelling. Forsake the sensation of feeling hot or cold too. If you think there's a way to leave these things, go ahead, leave them. People left society. They left their families, their innocent kids too. Why should they be abandoned? What was their mistake? Who will look after them? Leave everything, leave everything, leave everything. Who is the person leaving everything? Why aren't they saying him? They didn't leave him. The person who left everything wasn't abandoned. That person is me. Me is still very much a part of them. And they're talking about leaving things outside of themselves. These people are the ones who are lost. This has to be understood deeply, without any hurry, step by step, calmly and peacefully. What does it mean? If you want salvation, then leave the sense objects as if they are poison. What does this line mean? So there's a medicine, a sense object. It's not poison. If you're ill, is there something wrong in taking medication? Is there a problem with the medicine? No. So, leave the sense objects as if they are poison means the poison needs to be kept or consumed at its own rightful place. You need neither more nor less. Just like if you're ill and you leave medication, you'll die. If you die, how will you gain self-knowledge? Who will gain self-knowledge? If you needed only a small amount of medicine but instead overdosed, you'll still die. So more or less of something are extremes. These extremes need to be given up. Eating too much or not having anything at all, this needs to be given up. If you drink excess water, that is wrong. And if you don't drink, that too is wrong. In one word, moderation is what you need. Everything has to be done within limits. If you're able to do things within limits, then there is no better monk or saint than you. This is the biggest form of self-discipline. So, the person who is doing things within limits, he'll be peaceful. Now he's ready to listen. The one who is hungry and is listening to ASHTAVAKRA Gita, he won't be able to listen. His focus will be on his hunger. The one who has eaten in excess, even he won't be able to listen. He'll be sleeping. But he who has eaten within his limits, neither more nor less, will have no problem at all. There is a pleasure in eating. Can we give up that pleasure? Is that pleasure bad? What's bad about it? It is good. That's the reason you're eating. If there was zero pleasure in eating, if there was pain, would we eat? We would die. So don't leave pleasure. Don't leave food. Don't leave people. Don't leave anything. Give only as much importance to things as they require. You have to move ahead in your life peacefully. We can call it the middle path. Call it a balanced life. So what did you leave? You stopped doing things in extremes. That is what leaving is. Secondly, at your level of understanding, you left this misconception that the sense objects are an end in itself. These are all upay or solution, not upay or the end goal. This means these are the means to reach an end. This is not the end in itself. You need an object at every point, so you can't leave the object. You felt hungry. You picked up a knife. You chopped up some vegetables. What is all this? What is a knife? It's an object. You caught hold of the object, held the vegetable, chopped it, cooked it. You are also thinking about it. What spices and how much of the spices you're going to use. So, you didn't even leave the thoughts. When you look at it, you'll even salivate. Because if you like the taste and if your upbringing has been such, then you don't even leave that feeling. You didn't leave anything. Food is prepared. You're having it. You're eating within limits, neither in excess nor less. What was the outcome of all of this? You gained good health. Now you've got to use that good health to know the truth and to understand the truth. This whole world is confused between means and ends. Means have been thought of as ends. Money is a means. not an end. It's useful. Money is not the problem. You're thinking of money as an end goal. That is the problem. Or you're thinking that the end goal is whatever you want to buy with that money. That is the problem. I need money. Why do I need it? So that I lead a comfortable life. Why is a comfortable life needed? So as to understand in a peaceful state of mind who I am and what is the root of my struggle. So if I sum this up, one is moderation and the other is being absolutely clear about the means and the end. If we understand this, then our attachments will automatically cease to exist. This is known as abstinence. You won't need to be detached from this or that. Like fuel in a vehicle. If we understand that whatever there is in this world is similar to the fuel in a vehicle, I am on a journey for understanding the self. For this purpose, whatever there is all similar to the fuel required by a vehicle to run. So I'm not attached to the fuel. I'm focused on the journey. This is called abstinence.